Is that an ad? Yeah. Are we good? All right. All right, keep going.
This is a cha.
At the end.
Yeah. Gach.
Yep. The what?
Yeah. Yeah. Gach. Gach. Oh, a bath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Gach. Kamash. Put.
Kamashapat.
Kamashapat. Ho. Hoa.
That's not a what.
It's like a za.
There you go.
Yeah. Aisha. Yeah. Aisha.
Mm-hmm.
Lo.
Yep.
Verse 32.
It's like, for time's sake, clap it up for the book. Just for time's sake, to kind of speed through it a little bit since we had a late start. That was my fault. Select it to the man above me. Verse 32. Rabbi, Yagak, Hasawar, Awa, Amah, Kasap, Salashim, Shaqualium, Yathan, Ladanyuba, Wahashawar, Yasaqual. Verse 33. Wakaya, Yapathak, Ayash, Bawar, Awa, Kaya, Yakara, Ayash, Bara, Balaa, Yakasanawa, Wanapal, Shema, Shawar, Awa, like Shawar, Awa, Kamawar. Verse 34. Ba'ayah, Abawar, Yashalam, Kasa, Yashayab, Yabaaliwa, Wahamath, Yahaya, Luwa. Verse 35. Wakaya, Yaga, Shawar, Ayash, Ah, Shawal. Salakia. Ra'ihua. Wama. Wamakara. Ah. Hawar. Salakia. Hashawar. Hachaya. Wachatazwa. Ah. Kasapawa. Wagam. Ah. Hamath. Yechatazawan. Verse 36. Awa. Wanadai. Kaya. Shawal. Nagach. Hawa'a. Mathamawal. Walasham. Wala'a. Yashamaranwa. Ba'alywa. Shalom. Wa Slaki. Yeah, shalom. Wa shalom. Shawal. Thachaf. Hashawal. Wahamat. Yahya. Luwa. Verse 37. Kaya. Yagana. Ayash. Shawal. Awa. Shahah. Wa Tabachawa. Awa. Makarwa. Hamashah. Bakwal. Yashalom. Thachaf. Hashawar. Wa'arabai. Taza'an. Thachaf. Hashah. That's the end of those 7 in the Hebrew. Switching back to the English. We're in Exodus chapter 21. That's verses 31 through 37.
Uh-huh. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 31. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him.
So we're going over different laws. These are more civil disputes. So in this case, an ox gores somebody. So if that today, like if your pit bull jumps off the chain or breaks out the fence or something and goes and bites somebody, ain't nobody in the hood got an ox right now. So a pit bull would be a reasonable kind of substitution for this example. So imagine your dog, whatever, your pet, your animal that you control, that you are the owner of, gets loose and hurts a person. There's gonna be different measures of penalty for these circumstances. Go ahead.
Verse 32. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their masters 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Verse 33.
Because now people are going to look at it like, well, why are you so damn? That's animal cruelty. Where's FEMA? Where's FEMA when you need them? If these animals end up developing some of these bad behaviors, you're going to have to put them down. The same thing as if your dog gets loose and bites somebody. That's going to be a behavior that they're probably not going to let go of. You're going to have to put that animal down, especially for the damage that it does to somebody else. God?
Verse 33. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein.
Now, there's also penalties if your animal were to get hurt by somebody else's means. So, they put up a provision on their property or something. They don't have the proper signage, the red tape, orange signs, something taped off. that would let you know, because the animal ain't gonna understand that. But as an owner, you would be able to read that sign. You would see the red tape or the orange, the yellow tape, whatever. And it would be your responsibility to make sure that your animal doesn't fall into that pit or onto those spikes or onto that bear trap. Some people got properties and they might have traps set up for different. I think that's still illegal in most areas. But for example, if the neighbor's dog just keeps on coming into your lawn and pissing on your lawn or shitting on your lawn, and the neighbors ain't picking them up, and the conversation ain't going your way, so you feel that your next best bet is to put down rat poison or something. Don't do that. Sit up. To put out rat poison or pesticides, heavy chemicals on your lawn, and you don't have a sign or something like that saying, or you don't let that neighbor know that you got your yard sprayed, so it's probably best to keep their animals off your property, then you're going to be liable for any damage that befalls that animal. Now, in these cases, even with a dog, I can't say in every case. Like in our house, our dog, our pit bull Xena, she's a protector. She helps another measure of security for the kids, for the sisters. So it has the dual purpose, not just a family pet, but she's mainly there for protection. So that's a tool, that's a working animal. These oxes, these asses, these are working animals. You're not just going to keep a donkey as a pet in most cases back then. It was something for transportation or to get your work done. So if your work animal, even if it was just a pet, if your work animal falls into a pit and it's somebody's fault, they didn't have it properly marked, they didn't give you proper notification, now there's a penalty on them to you. Keep going.
Come. Verse 34. The owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it.
So if your ox hurts another ox, that other ox dies, you're not gonna kill the ox in that case, but you're gonna sell it off. Because that could just be more of a territorial dispute between those two animals. There's a different interface between the animal and the human that gets attacked, or between two animals. If our dog were to get loose and bite a child, that's different than our dog getting loose and getting into it with another dog. They just need to be separated. So now you're going to take this ox, you're probably going to ship them across town or something like that. You're going to sell them into the market. They're going to go someplace else. They're not going to be around these other oxes no more for that any more of that conflict to happen. Because animals do remember things too, and they are pack animals. Herd animals, but they do defend each other. They've got, I don't want to say a pack mentality, but it's just a common trait amongst mammals. Yeah, so then you sell that ox off, you split the money with the owner of the one that just got killed, so that they can help recoup some of theirs. That beef between animals, you kind of can't control that too much. But if yours gets the shit end of the stick, so to speak, there's a just compensation for it. Keep going.
Verse 35. And if one slide, I was just there. And the dead ox also they shall divide. Verse 36.
It's like they shall sell the live ox and divide the money in the dead ox. So now that ox, that's a lawful animal. So now, it wasn't ravaged by another animal. It wasn't dead and stinking, for days. You don't know what happened to it. You know that this other ox, they got into a fight. It got gored or it got head butted, or hind kicked, its life away. and now it's dead. You can divide that's lawful, that's a clean animal. Now you can divide that for food. You can split that up. You can eat that. So it's not, I don't say it's not a complete loss. It still sucks because you got your working animal, or that could have been a breeding animal, or you could have been keeping that for food anyway. But it's a lawful it's a lawful animal to eat. So you can divide that up as well as the profits from the live ox that you're selling. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 36. Or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in time past, and his owner hath not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
Yeah. So if your animal, if that ox has a history of just being a bully, a punk in the neighborhood, and he's done this kind of stuff before, and you didn't you didn't make that kind of publicly aware, like some people, like if they're walking their dog or something like that, your kid, some random kid comes up and say, oh, can I pet your dog? Let them know, no, my dog bites. My dog is a biter. It's not a nibbler. My dog's a biter. My dog's a head butter. You're giving them fair warning that this is not a friendly, animal to approach. So now if you got your ox out there and you don't let the people know, listen, don't approach them, keep your beast over here, give them a wide berth, because your ox does shit like this, then your knowledge of that beast bears the whole penalty on you. So now you're going to repay that whole ox. You're going to give him all the money for a brand new ox of working capabilities, and that dead ox stays with him to divide. So now you don't get any of that meat either, and you got to pay for a whole new ox. So these are just kind of civil disputes, almost small claim courts, kind of problems and solutions to it. As justifiably, it's an even justified compensation for it. People ain't always going to be happy with the outcome, but there is a compensation for some of these losses. If you get kicked by a bull, dude, like that might be the end of it for you as a human being, or it just might be a very bad day, or it might take you out of work for a week or a month or something like that. The healing process is gonna suck. There's a workman's comp, so to speak, that should go to that. I don't know what's the other term, injury, like a personal injury lawsuit, call Abraham and Hupy, shit like that. These are some of the provisions set in place to keep civility during some of these instances, because people aren't going to be happy. Your working animal dies, your son just got kicked in the head or gored by a bull. People are going to be upset. Their tensions are going to rise. Now, there's also going to be laws that kind of govern that thing too. How you act if you're still unhappy after the matter's been resolved, after compensation has been made. Seeking further retribution or revenge on it. There's statutes against that kind of behavior as well. So this is just to kind of give an overview and govern on some of the civil or domestic disputes between us. If property is damaged, if people get hurt, property gets hurt, your animals get hurt, things like that. If somebody were to come in and cut all the wires on your welding machine, and that's what you use to make a living, there's a compensation for this. All right, so now in this, I'm trying to make sure here. I don't know why. I want to make sure we were reading from the right spots in the Hebrew, because it's not giving us 37 verses in this part. So I just want to read some real quick. So 35. Yeah. Okay, yes. All right. Let me see, 36. Wow. Yeah. So now, Salaki, give me 1 second here just to see what's going on here. That might be the first.
Slack, sir.
What could you possibly want?
We stopped at 37.
Yeah, we stopped at 37, but if you see in the English, it doesn't go down to 37. So really what's going on here is 37, at least in it could be a misprint. You get 37 on here too, right? Okay, so the way that it's reading, it looks like 37 is verse 1 in chapter 22. So in English, read verse 1 of chapter 22.
Yes, sir. And go to 2.
Stop at 2. Then we're going to switch back into the Hebrew.
Yes, sir. That'll be 6 chapters, 6 verses, sir.
31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So in our case, it's going to be going to 1 in English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Verse 22. Wait, slug. Chapter 22, verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore five oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
So again, if you were to take something like this to a small claims court, this would be, the similar judgment on that matter. So if you steal from somebody, there's an egregious offense to when you steal from somebody. The work that they put in to acquire those oxen, those sheep, that welding machine, those dogs, that forklift, that dump truck, that work vehicle, the effort that you put in to secure that. For somebody just to steal it from you after everything that you did to acquire that, so that you can make an honest living with your family, that's there's a different offense to that as well. So yeah, you got to pay back more. You got to pay back more. It's not just that you stole it, you profited off of it. You got it 5 times for that ox, 4 times for that sheep. And it's just giving these as a couple examples. It's not saying the ass or any of the fowl, or if they got a koi fish pond or something like that, and you're stealing all the fish, what the measures are for those. That's something else that we can divvy up, kind of in comparison to what we see here. But there's a disrespect when it comes to stealing. Now, some people, I'm not sure if it's going to cover it here, but there is a level of consideration for people that are poor and hungry, homeless, that are stealing out of necessity to eat. I don't want to say despite their individual circumstances, because like for example, if you're a white man in America and you poor, you're homeless, you hungry, you're doing something wrong. You suck. You suck at something. You're a dumbass. You were drunk. You were a drug addict. You didn't want to listen to mommy and daddy. They wouldn't let you play your games. So you rebelled and you ran away. And now you're living in the alley, sucking rod for nickels so you can keep on playing your game, whatever the hell the case may be. That's on you. Now, if you're stealing to eat because you got kicked out the house, you got put out the house because your selfish old bratty ass, that dog, you ain't gonna get no favoritism here. But now, say your neighborhood got gentrified, your house got taken from you, and you got put out with no roof over your head. You're living out of your car with your children, and you are desperate because that baby is crying, and that woman is looking mighty stressed, and you feeling the pressure of that. And you, instead of having a community like the UPK where you can go to a brother in a time of need and say, bro, it's rough. It's rough. X, Y, and Z just happened. Salaki, could you maybe put us up for a little bit? Could you help us out with dinner for the night? Something like that. If you ain't got that and you living on the wrong side of town and you got to go steal something, there's a different consideration for those circumstances versus you just being some junkie who willingly threw yourself out there because you just had to find out what crystal meth was like. Everybody been telling you for so long. You've seen the commercials. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. You went through the DARE program. You know that this is a negative. It's a net negative for everybody. But you had to find out what all the hype was about. You had to know what that secret was that crystal meth has been keeping from you for 18 years. And now you finally get your freedom. You're an adult now. You get to make your own choices. You had to find out. And now you're addicted to it and you're blown right because you had to find out what crystal meth was all about. That's on you. You're not, you can get counseling. You know, listen, having an addiction, not cool for anybody. But if you're not taking those steps then to correct your decision, nobody's going to show pity or empathy for the situation that you're going through. But now you get displaced by your oppressor, by Fortune 500 company, by things that are beyond your control. That's a different set of circumstances altogether. So I don't know if it's going to get into that here. We'll continue reading in the Hebrew. We'll take it back out in the English, and then we'll see if we get to that point here. But there is going to be a mention of a consideration for those circumstances, unless they already got read in the previous verses. It's like we were at Passover in Atlanta. So they may have covered this in the Sabbath service then. So we will continue reading Exodus chapter 22. And in this case, we're going to start at verse 1, but really this is going to be verse 2 in the English. This is a little funky. It's a little funky. We'll see how this works out. Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. Amah. B'machorath. It's like it. B'makathorath. Yamat Taza'ah. Haganah. Wahaka. Wamath. Ayah. It's like Ayan. Lawa. Dabayam. Verse 2. Amah. Zarakah. Hashemash. Ayawa. Damiyam. Lawa. Shalom. Ya Shalom. Amah. Ayan. Lawa. Wana Makar. Bagan Nabathwa. Verse 3. Amah. Hamataza'ah. Thamataza'ah. Bayarwa. Haganabah. Mashawar. Ay. Hamawar. Ay. Shahah. Chayayam. Shaniyam. Yashalam. Verse 4. Kayah. Yaba'ira. Ayash. Shadah. Salakia. Awa. Karam. Washalak. Ah. Bayarawa. It's like a Wabayar. Salakia. Ba'ayara. Ba'ayarawa. Waba'ayar. It's like a Waba'ira. Shabbadah. Achar. Mayata. Shadahawa, Wamayatab, Karamwa, Yashalom. Verse 5, Kaya, Tataza'a, Ash, Wama Taza'a, Kwatazayam, Wana Akal, Gadayash, Awa, Hakuma, Awa, Hashira, Shalom, Ya Shalom. Hamaba'ira, Af, Haba'ira. Verse 6, Kaya, Yathan, Ayash, Al Ra'ihwa, Kasa, Awa, Kaliyam, La Shema, Wagana, Mabayat, Hayash, Amma, Yamat Taza'a, Hagana, Yashalom, Shanyam. Verse 7, Amma, La'a, Yamat Taza'a, Hagana, Wanakwara, Ba'ai, Habayat, Al, Ba'alahayim, Amma, La'a, Shalak, Yadwa, Bama La'akat, Ra'ihwa. Verse 8, Al, Kal, Dabar, Pashai, Al, Shawar, Al, Chamawar, Al, Shahah, Al, Shalamah, Al, Kal, Abadah, Ashar, Ya'amar, Kaya, Hawa'ah, Zahah, Aid, Ba'alahayim, Yaba'ah, Dabar, Shanyaham, Ashar, Yarash Shaya'ain, Alahayim, Yashalam, Shanyaham, Lara Ihwa. All right, back into the English. Exodus chapter 22, verses 2 through 8.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up, and be smitteth that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him.
If somebody in your shit, man, and you catch him, the altercation turns into something, he dies, the brother shouldn't have been there. That woman shouldn't have been there. That brother, that sister, that man or that woman, they should not have been there. Somebody breaks into your home, onto your property, that does put a direct threat to your family as well. You don't know what that person's doing. They ain't got no business being on your lot at all, in your home, in your garage, on your property, anywhere. They do not belong there. I would take that as a direct threat too. So now you catch them in the act of it. A lot of times with these thieves, man, they're already so bold as to take that step crossing into your property. A lot of them are going to be armed. They're going to have a gun. They're going to have a knife. They're going to have some weapon on them that you're going to have to meet. It could turn into something. If it does, they lose their life as a result of their actions. Ain't nobody going to hold you responsible for it like that. Keep going.
Verse 3. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him. For he should make full restitution It's like it. For he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Verse 4. If the theft be certainly.
So like, I gotta double check on this part. There's some. Yeah, so the first part, verse 2, if he be smitten that he died, there shall be no blood shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. So like you said, that first part too, if that man died, obviously he can't pay you nothing. You can't make no restitution. Now, if you catch him in the act, you mess him up. But if the sun risen upon him, like he still survived it, then he still got to make restitution. Now, if he doesn't have anything, then the way that he would be sold into slavery, and then you would get the money from that. So it'd be how would I compare it to today? It's I don't want to say like the chain gang type shit, but because there's a debt that you would owe, but if you can't pay it, you to get the money for that restitution, you would be sold into slavery as compensation for that. So this is one avenue that we see how people end up as slaves, as servants. So you got this thief or criminal, and then this is not the same thing as what they have in the Constitution either. If they try to adopt it from here, their premise of it first was based off of chattel slavery. That turned into turning everybody into criminals so that they can keep them in that slave trade. This is a different circumstance. The whole outline of this. You shall be sold for his theft. And that could be, that doesn't mean it's going to be perpetual servitude either in that case for that individual. That could buy him a few years, just depending on whatever deal gets worked out between, the buyer and the seller, so to speak, or the judicial system and whatever company or business he might be getting sold to. Yeah, but this should also be a strong deterrent for thieves. Don't steal people's shit. Get a job. There's people out there that are hiring. It might not be the most glorious work that you dreamt of doing as a kid, but it sure as hell beats taking the risk of of going into somebody's property, either possibly losing your life or still getting busted up, but now you're getting sold into servitude. It beats that option too. I'd rather go make pizzas. I'd rather go sweep some floors. Mop some bathrooms. That's an honest living at the very least. It's not glorious, but you could end up making that, turn that into something. Rebuild the reputation of a janitor. Janitors are badass, man. The stress and the responsibility on their shoulders for y'all little fancy asses to enjoy the accommodations of America, you better be grateful for that man or that woman. A lot of times, it's a brother and a sister that's out there with those cleaning services, making sure that your offices and your homes are presentable, are clean, sanitary. There's a lot of work that goes into that. That's honorable, honest work that y'all take advantage of. Instead of being a thief, possibly losing your life, disrespecting somebody else by stealing their hard-earned, possessions, and possibly either losing your life or getting sold, to jail, to a hard labor camp, something like that, to somebody's farm that might not be so nice to you. Maybe there's a specific farm that they send people to because that dude don't play that shit. And all his workers are all thieves. And he is rough on them. You get sold into that. or you can go sweep some floors for an honest day's living so you can feed your family appropriately without having to risk. You, especially if you're a man, you're the head, you're the protection of your family. It'd be a foolish thing, an irresponsible thing for you to go risk your freedom, your safety, when you could just go get a job and secure your family's stability. Instead, you're going to go risk your life where you can end up losing your life. Now your family for sure ain't got nothing. You might have little kids out there, babies and a woman. That mother needs to be with them little kids. She can't just go get a job and leave them kids unattended. So now, as the head of that family, now you're dead, or now you get sold into a slave. You can't take, well, maybe you could take your family. Now your whole family's bought too. Now all of you are under those conditions. Or it's just you that gets separated and your family left alone. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of men out there that say that they selling drugs. They're doing this or that hustle that's illegal, but they're doing it for their family. That is an irresponsible rationale. That's a dangerous game you playing with your life and with the stability and safety of your family. The security that you're about to take away from them. And everybody knows this, that's out there hustling. You go to jail, you know your women, your children, they're up for grabs now. Them vultures are circling them. Your homeboy that was so down for you, ride or die, your brother, he's sleeping with your woman now, possibly harming your children. You left the gates wide open for that because you wanted to be a thief. You couldn't see any better way. You don't want to take the honorable path about getting what would be deemed as like a low-tier job, low-level job. You had to go steal something. You had to go take that risk instead of cleaning up somebody's stable, shoveling horse shit for a living. Now you can be shoveling horse shit just because. You didn't want to shovel the horse shit and get paid an honest wage for it. Now you're going to get sold into servitude shoveling horse shit for nothing. For the crumbs that master leaves you later on. From sun up to sundown, you're just shoveling shit for nothing. And your family's unprotected. Or now your family's got to shovel that shit with you. Brotherhood is a weapon. That's why it's so important for every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, woman, and child to tap into that UPK school near you so that we can build an infrastructure to protect ourselves. God forbid something like this would have happened to you. You lose your job, you lose your house. You've got family that you can fall on that also ain't going to lord it over your head. How many times have you tried to go to a family member and then they put that, they kept on throwing that in your face for the next 10 years, shaming you, embarrassing you, stressing you out, telling you, well, listen, man, I didn't have to take you in. You know what I'm saying? You remember, like, you wouldn't have none of this if it wasn't for me. I took your family in. I raised your kids. I put food on their plate. Now I get to tell you what to do. Taking the masculinity from you. Taking the authority over your family and your wife. Thinking that they're better than you. Because something bad happened to you, something tragic happened to you, and you turn to brothers. You turn to your family for support. That's not how this is supposed to work. But that's something that we confront way too often in this country. The stress that our people are under turn us against each other when times get rough and we have to depend on one another for that safety, for that security. I can tell you from personal experience, not over here in the UPK. Not one time have I gone to the brothers needing help financially, for counsel, no matter what it was. Did they ever hold it against me again after that? They gave me everything that they had, that they could afford to give. Help dig me up out of that pit and never mention it again. You know what I'm saying? It's your brotherhood is a weapon. That money is the defense. Not supposed to be used against you. Resources that we got, we are responsible for each other. Especially if you're a father, you're responsible for those kids. There's that movie Fences with Denzel. And there's that one scene where, his kids like, Denzel was asking, why do you think I take care of you? Why do you think you got food and clothes and a roof and shit like that? And he's like, well, because you like me. He's like, nah, it ain't because I like you. It's because I'm your father. I have to. I brought you into this world. I'm responsible for you. Now, I just happen to like my kids too. They're cool people. Sometimes, they're, a little eccentric, but, we love them. We love them. But it's our responsibility as parents for bringing those lives into this world, this cruel ass world, full of heartache and pain, and a lot of beauty too. There's a lot of beauty to be had out here. A lot of incredible experiences, positive experiences you can have. There's a lot of stress out there too. But it's our responsibility to look out for each other. If you're an Israelite, it's your responsibility to look out for other Israelites. Salaki, spend a little bit too much time on that, but just to drive that point home about how some people can end up in those servitudes, in slavery, because you're doing some dumb shit like this when it's not necessary. Help build up Milwaukee so that we can take care of Milwaukee. We can take care of each other. While Chicago is working on building up Chicago so that Chicago can take care of Illinois. Let's take care of Wisconsin. There's a way that we can do this. Get into class. We'll talk about it. Come to the table at least. Meet with Captain DeBarmath. Every Thursday, well, it's like every Wednesday, he's got his camp leader breakdown class. Otherwise, the doors are opening up right now since it's summer and everything's starting to thaw out and weather's breaking and whatnot. Come to the school, 4221 West North Avenue, Unit 101, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53208. The phone number should be on. It's like if you can pull up that banner, reply if that's our updated number on there. Otherwise, you can go simply to make a quick little Google search. I'm going to show you how quick it is to type in Isupk Milwaukee. And you're going to get our information. Boom, right there. School's open and closes around 12. Well, we're going to be going over time a little bit because we started a little bit late. 414-293-3869. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Feel free to engage in the chat. Otherwise, call that phone number. Show up to that address Monday through Friday, Saturday Sabbath service. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this rolling. Let's put this work in so that we can help secure our city, our communities, our families, while the other schools that are spread all over the United States, all up and down the Western Hemisphere, all over in the UK, so we can take care of each other effectively. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take Israel coming together to accomplish this. It's like you keep reading.
Verse 4. If the theft be certainly, Verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive.
If he's caught red-handed.
Whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double.
You catch him in the act of it. Like you can prove for sure that it's his. In the first one that we read before, he stole it, he got away from it, he sold it, he's got his re-up money, he profited off it, they went out to dinner, he took his family to the movies, bought everybody some new kicks. Yeah, now you owe 5 times for that donkey or for that ox. Now you owe 4 more times for that sheep. You catch him red-handed. He hasn't profited off it, he didn't get a chance to sell it or chop it up and divide the meat. You catch him red-handed in the moment. He owes you double. He owes you double for anything that he was about to take from you. So he didn't get to escape with that ass or that sheep, that ox, but he owes you 2 of them oxes. He owes you 2 of them donkeys. He owes you 2 of them sheep for the offense, the disrespect of trying to steal your stuff. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution.
So if he let his animals graze on your crops instead of his own land, the best of his agricultural yield would go to you now. So if you got your tomato farmer, everybody loves tomatoes, and next door he's a corn farmer, and both you've got cattle or something like that, or livestock, and he lets his livestock over in your field on purpose. Let me see if there's an accidental consideration. Now, if a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, so listen, if you're negligent of where your livestock is, or if you purposefully, let them cross that line into somebody else's property and they eat up all your goods, the best of their crops would go to you now for restitution. Because maybe you're a tomato farmer and he's a corn farmer. He can't restore your tomatoes that just got eaten, but now he can give you the best of the abundance of his corn, and you can sell that. You can eat it if you want. You can keep that for food if you want, or you can trade it. You can just sell it to the markets to at least recoup the losses that you would suffer for all those delicious tomatoes getting chewed up by that donkey. Or I don't know if donkeys eat tomatoes. Texas. If anybody from Texas is around, that brother who's got the farm, damn, what Salaki to the man above me. Damn, the brother's name. Banyala, Salaki. The brother doing amazing things down there in Texas. Got a farm, building a house. He's doing he ain't forging yet. He ain't blacksmithing yet. The casting. He does the casting. He had all these the coins and like pendants, medallions at the Passover. Shout out to that brother too for the glorious work that he's introducing. But yeah, that's if I don't know if your cattle, if they eat things like that, but you're just throwing it out there. It's like, keep going.
Come. Verse 6. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution.
And that's just, again, somebody not, being careless. Maybe the fire was a little bit too close to somebody else's property. Maybe it's too big and they lost control of the embers. And the embers, that's just something that kind of floats up in the fire, gets carried away. Some of those are still going to be on fire. And, it touches somebody else's property, that dry brush, or the stacks of corn, or even the standing corn, what have you, catches fire, and now you just kill their entire crop. You owe for your negligence, or and mainly it's going to be a point of negligence, because you might be burning something for any reason, a bonfire, having a little barbecue with the family or something like that, or you're burning stuff, getting rid of old wood or damaged crops or something like that, whatever it might be. But you got a fire going. It gets out of control, or you're not paying attention to where the embers are going. You ain't got no provisions set up, something like that. You're not just far away enough, and it damages somebody else's property. You're responsible for that. Keep going.
Come. Verse 7. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double.
All right, so now this is a situation that brothers get into a lot. Brothers and sisters get into a lot. Especially when it comes over money. Now you give somebody money to hold for you. Maybe you're going on vacation or something like that. You don't want it left in your house. And you got your neighbor, you got your family, something. You leave those expensive goods or that money, just straight up cash, with them. Now, a thief comes in and steals it, they pay you double. And if that thief be found, they owe you double. Keep going. Because they're stealing it from that safe spot that you give it to somebody else, that somebody else got robbed. And now you find the thief owes double. Keep going.
Come. Verse 8. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he hath put his hand unto his neighbor's good.
So now the situation is going to get investigated. It's going to be evaluated. So that person who you entrusted that money to, they're going to get brought forth to the council. And now we're gonna investigate the matter. We're gonna check, that person's character, reputation, look at the circumstances, see how this may, check all the forensic evidence, see what's going on here behind the scenes, what it looks like, at face value, check out the security of the house. Maybe that back window is supposed to be locked, but just coincidentally that night it wasn't locked. Things like that. It's gonna be checked out thoroughly. That's those 7 in the English, back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 22, verse 9. Here it's going to be verse 8. No, verse 9. Yeah, just to keep up with it. It's like, guys, so Exodus chapter 22, verse 9. Kaya, Yathan, Ayash, Raihua, Kamawa, Awa, Shawa, Awa, Shahah, Wakal, Bahama, Lashama, what it's like it. Wamath, Awa, Nashabah, Awa, Nashabah, Ayan, Rahat, it's like it. Ra'ah. Verse 10. Shabbat. It's like it. Shabbat Ta. Yahweh. Tahaya. Bayan. Shaniyam. Amma. La'ah. Shalak. Yarwa. Bamalaka. Raihua. Walaka. Ba'ayuwa. Wala'ah. Ya Shalom. Verse 11. Wa'am. Zagi Wa'ama. Gana. Ya Gana. Ma'aymuwa. Ya Shalom. Laba Alayuwa. Verse 12. Amma. Torah. Ya Torah. Bama Slaki. Bahua. I. Hatarapa. La'ah. Ya Shalom. Verse 13. Wakaya. Ya Sha'ah. Ayash. Ma'ain. Ra'ihua. Wanashabah. Awa. Awa. Mata. Ba'ayuwa. Ayan. Amwa. Shalom. Ya Shalom. Verse 14. Amma. Ba'ayuwa. Amwa. La'ah. Ya Shalom. Amma. Shakaya. Hawa. Ba'ah. Bashakara. Verse 15. Wakaya. Yapatha. Ayash. Bathalawa. Ashar. La'ah. Arashah. Washaka. Aima. Mahal. Yamaharana. Lawa. Lasha. Verse 16. 15. Actually, that's those 7 in the Hebrew, back into the English.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse
9.
9. For all manners of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment.
Raiment, so like clothing. Clothing, it could be fabric or material to make clothing, things like that. But yeah, raiment, it's gonna be like your garment, clothes.
For raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his. The cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor.
So now again, if there's a dispute, somebody, one person claiming this is theirs, the other person claiming, nah, it's mine. The matter is going to get investigated before the judges, and then the restitution will be double what the value of whatever that item is going to be. Keep going. Sit up, buddy.
Verse 10. If a man deliver unto...
Say, get your elbows off the table. Just don't read on over like that.
Verse 10. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast, to keep and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it. Verse 11. Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good.
So now sometimes shit happens. You're going out of town or something like that. You leave. Yeah, you leave your work animal. Because again, in these cases too, everything that we're reading about, these oxen, the ass, the sheep, it's your work. It's either work or food animal. So now there's somebody else's possession, but something happens. It just. And that's it. That's what you get, man. Golly. Brotherhood is a weapon. The what? Yeah, sometimes it just goes bad. And something happens. That the person who you entrust that animal with, they couldn't prevent it, even if they tried. They're grazing in the field or something like that, and then it stumbles into a little rut, breaks its neck. A wolf, travels onto the property. Pack of wolves, his animals and your animals get eaten. His son died defending them. Whatever. Sometimes things are just out of people's control. As the owner of it, you just end up taking that loss. You gave it to somebody else to watch over, to keep safe for you. But something happened outside of their control. You can't blame them for it. You're not going to get any compensation for that. It's an honest mistake. Sometimes things happen. Now, you're still going to be upset about it, probably having to take that loss. But you can't take that out on your brother or your sister or whoever you had entrusted these goods to. You got to take that one on the chin. Now, that's a loss that you're going to have to, suffer. Keep going.
Come. Verse 12. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof.
So now again, that's going back to that matter of if it's entrusted to these people, they get robbed, or they make a poor decision or whatnot, and they get jacked for it. Then it's on them to make that restitution. But if again, sometimes there's things just beyond your control. But now we got judges again that you've been reading from some of the past examples. If there's an ought there, that person doesn't feel like they owe you, because sometimes like you you could be the one that they entrusted it to, and you're like, listen, man, my bad. I wasn't keeping an eye on it. I don't know how this happened, but they breached my gates. I knew that latch was faulty. I didn't repair it. That's on me, Salakia. Yeah, and these are real life things that we go through today too. So it's not far fetched to envision some of these circumstances and scenarios and see how that gets played out. So sometimes as the owner, you entrusted it to somebody else, something happens and you take a loss for it. But now it's in somebody else's possession. They're responsible for it because they agreed to it also. You're not just dumping it on your neighbor for just without their knowing of it or against their will. They're accepting it. They're accepting responsibility. Same thing with each other's kids. When we babysit each other's kids, I'm taking on the responsibility of protecting your children. They're taking on the responsibility of protecting your sheep, your goats, your oxen, your donkeys, whatever. And something happens, they were negligent on securing it properly. They get stolen. They want it off. Somebody else got them. My bad. I got you. I'll pay you back for this. But now, it doesn't say double, triple, quadruple. It just says restitution unto the owner thereof. That's just going to be kind of a more probably 1-for-1. And I'm sure, with finer tuning or closer examination, these matters, some of that gray area, if it's got to get taken up to a judge or something like that, maybe you don't know the value of it. Or maybe you're skeptical of the value of it. Maybe it was a very old donkey. It really couldn't pull its weight no more. And dude just maybe sentimental, purposes wanted to hold on to the damn thing before it dies. But it can't pull the same load that it used to. It can't carry the same amount of goods or passengers that it used to. So instead of expecting, I need 10,000 for this donkey, it was an old ass donkey. I'll give you 3. It kind of, it was old, it was a little rickety, and it's really not worth 10. But if there's a dispute there, we can take that to the judge's suit, and they can have a more fair evaluation of it. And again, somebody's feelings still might get hurt, but these are provisions set in place, for the people to keep the friction low, to keep any offenses, any instability from each other from getting out of hand. So I can keep going.
Come. Verse 13. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn.
So now again, if it's on that beast is on your property, a wolf comes in, a bear, a lion, a bobcat, something like that, and it attacks that animal. You're gonna bring that animal, that carcass, all ripped up, torn to shreds by what could only have been a predatory animal, because man-made. If you're gonna try to hide that, like how to say, if you're gonna try to cover it up and make it look like an animal did it, you're cutting it up with a knife or axe or something like that, you're gonna see the different incision marks from that blade, and that's gonna be different than how a wolf or a bear's claws or teeth would have gashed up that animal. So again, we're kind of looking at the forensic evidence of it. This is going to be brought before the council as a witness. Like, my witness is this chewed up carcass. You can see the bite marks on it. They can. It's nothing that we haven't really done before. They can measure the size of the wound. If it's yay big, if it's a 10-inch gash, that's probably not going to be a wolf. That's probably going to be a bear or a mountain lion or something like that. Because we know mountain lions, and people got experiences with this stuff. We know mountain lions got a bigger bite pattern than a wolf or a pack of dogs. If it was 10 dogs, you're going to see 10 different gashes on that thing. But normally lions and bears, they hunt by themselves. They're solitary animals like that. So there's going to be signs and telltale evidence of what took place, what kind of animal. It's going to show that it wasn't a human, it wasn't man-made. Listen, this beast, it got on the property, it chewed up your sheep. Here's the sheep. This is my witness, the sheep, the carcasses, chewed up by this animal. Salaki, I can't control that. I don't know what happened. that's just a loss that the owner's going to have to take. Keep going.
Come. Verse 14. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good.
So now, again, if you borrow something from your neighbor, if you borrow that ox from your neighbor because you need to plow this field, maybe your ox died or it's injured or something like that, or you just ain't got one yet, you're a new property owner, you're asking to borrow your neighbor's ox, and it dies. The owner's not around to oversee it because the owner could be there, be like, you want to borrow my tractor? Cool. I'm just gonna come with. You can do all the work with it. I'll just be there just to kind of make sure everything's running good. Because maybe the pedal sticks and you don't know how to jimmy the latch right. Maybe it might die on you. There's a right way to do it. I'll be there with you so that I can help jumpstart it, or I can fix any of the issues while it happens. And that owner is going to be responsible. It's overseeing the matter. But now you borrow that from them. The owner's not there. And again, you're accepting responsibility for it because that's kind of implicit in the scenarios that we're talking about in some of these cases. You're going to be the one that burdens the restitution for. So now if it breaks down in your charge, maybe you don't know what the hell you're doing driving the clutch. I don't know how to drive stick. I don't know how to drive manual. If I borrow my neighbor's car and it's a manual car, I tell them, no, I got this. I'll watch a YouTube video of it. I'll understand. I got it. And I mess it up. That's on me. So now if the owner ain't there, you're accepting responsibility of that animal. The animal dies in your care under your watch. You're going to have to make that good. Keep going.
Come. Verse 15. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire.
Normally, there's probably already a monetary exchange there anyway, some type of currency exchange there anyway if it's a hired thing. So now he asks you, hey, I'll pay you $20 if I can, borrow your car or something. I'll put gas in it, blah, blah, blah. There's kind of already any stipulations in that contract, in that agreement between you guys. Now, if it's a hired thing, and again, the owner's there or something, it would end up being predicated on whatever the agreement was between y'all for that hired service, the hired good, the hired tool, the rental, whatever. But it's not going to be. You're probably not going to be, the sole responsible party in that matter. That's those 7 in English. Back into the Hebrew. Exodus. Let's knock off that. That was a rock. Speaking of, that's a big chunk. Shout out to Quam Health and Wellness for all the resin a man could want. Quam's Health and Wellness. QUAM. Quam Health and Wellness. The Franken Myrrh resin. Got bags of this stuff, man. Yeah, you got it. All right, we are Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 in the Hebrew. Ama, ma'an, ya ma'an, abya, lathatha, loa, kasa, yasukwo, kamaha, Abath Walath, verse 17. Makashapa, La'a, Thachaya, verse 18. Call, Shakar, Ain, it's like Aima, Bahama, Mawath, Yawamath, verse 19. Zabach, La Alahayim, Acharam, Balathia, La Yahweh, Labarwa, verse 20. Verse 20, Wagar, La'a, Thanawa, Slakia, Thawana, Wala'a, Thalaka Tazanwa, Kaya, Garyam, Haya Yatham, Barataza, Matazar, verse 21. Ka, Alamana, Wayathawam, La'a, Thaina 1, verse 22. Amma, Aina, Thaina, Athwa, Kaya, Amma, Tazaikwa, Yatazaikwa, Alya, Shemai, Ashemai, Tazaikwatwa. Going back into the English. Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Now, this is a big, actually, I need to get, we're going to highlight this area too. This is a big point of contention for a lot of people when they try to say that God allows for rape in the Bible. We need to read this very carefully in the context in which these words are written for the audience it's intended to, given the culture that it's coming from. Verse 16, to read it again. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So he entices this woman, and she ain't married, she ain't promised to no other man, she ain't in no other contract with a man to be married. She ain't dating nobody else, none of that. If you find a sister, you at the mall or something like that, you find a sister, sparks fly, you two end up jumping the gun and hooking up, right there on the spot. There ain't no one night stands in Israel. That's your wife now. It's like you grab a highlighter, grab a yellow highlighter from one of them cups, Bob Kashad, and see if they're in that pen from the top one too. For water. All right, so start from 16 again.
Come. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man...
It's like my fault on the context of these verses. I thought we were about to read into something else. My fault. This is separate than the rape doctrine that GMS promotes. Actually, maybe we already... Yeah, I think we already went through that. No, that's in Deuteronomy. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a few books in Deuteronomy. This is just something different. This is just to let you know. Well, it's like read 17. Read 16 and then read 17. And then we'll go over that because this is something a little bit different. But this just to let you know that, hey, ain't no one night stands in Israel. So if you, brother, you go out there trying to hook up with a sister, you better be ready and responsible to wife that sister, pay the dowry to her father, to her family, man up, step to the plate, and do right by her. And if you a sister, you don't want to be counted as a hoe. Don't be sleeping around with no niggas that you just meet either. And keep your legs closed. Brothers, we do not suffer whores of our daughters. And sisters, you better not whore yourself out. So now, it's like you read, go ahead.
Come. Verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed. So like I read that wrong.
It's all good.
Betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow.
Yep, endow.
Endow her to be his wife.
That's your wife now. That's not your girlfriend. That's not just that she ain't no thought no more. Not in your eyes. That's your wife. She might have been a thought prior to. That's how you got her. You know what I'm saying? But now that's your wife. You stuck with it. Make good choices. Keep going.
Come. Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
If her father, Slacky, I'm gonna have to get back to you on how this works in a more practical common sense. I'll ask Cap about it, but I believe that's referring to how, because that's your wife. No, but now this is saying that if the father don't accept it, because now you just took something very valuable and precious to that father, his baby girl. He didn't know that she was a thought. Salaki to the men above me. He didn't know that she was like that. That was just gonna give it up so easy for some dude at the swap meet. So now he refused it. He don't want no part of this. Hell no. Not dude, not Tyrone. No. You're supposed to marry Malcolm. You're supposed to marry the doctor. Not this dude that you just met at at the barbecue or something like that at the park. You're supposed to just marry that guy, because sex is marriage according to the Bible. That's why we read it here. If a man entice a maid that's not betrothed and lie with her, that means has sex with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. That is marriage. They didn't have a ceremony. They didn't what's the word? They didn't elope to Vegas and get married by Elvis Presley impersonator at that. They just got hits. They just slept with each other. Sex is marriage according to the Bible. Now the father, man, now you're damn near made an enemy. The father utterly refused to give her unto him. He shall pay. I got to double check on the he shall pay, because no matter what the father wants, that's still that man's wife. So, but I think it's the man that has to pay according to the dowry of virgins. Because I think there's like a set standard for that already. That if you were to trespass, the honorable thing by, going to the father first and asking for that woman's hand in marriage, that there's like a set kind of penalty or price point that you would have to meet for that. I got to double check on this though. But again, just to emphasize, ain't no whores of Israel. Brothers, stop loving whores, sisters, stop being whores, and we can solve a lot of these problems up front. So I can continue.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Now listen, you leave it up to us. We'll take care of drug dealers. Well, we'll solve the drug problem in Milwaukee. Leave it up to us. In the kingdom of God, there's not going to be any. Listen, we ain't playing none of that shit. You are not cooking up no dope. You ain't making no ecstasy pills in some rusted out bathtub cast iron sink in your garage. You know what I'm saying? People are mixing things up in the toilet bowl. We shall not suffer a witch to live. Those people that are out there that are whipping up these concoctions, these drugs, these mind-altering substances, your days are coming. Your life will be threatened. You will be in utter jeopardy if you're going to be what definitionally what a witch is in the Bible is essentially going to be a drug dealer. Or again, somebody who's they're saying a shaman, they're saying a physician. This is somebody that's cooking up, love potions. Ain't no such thing. It's somebody that's cooking up, mind-altering substances, addictive substances. It's not going to be tolerated. And we have the power in Milwaukee, just our communities alone, to deter our children, our loved ones, from becoming victims of these witches, of these drug dealers. And it doesn't have to be done by force. We ain't got to kick nobody's doors down. We'd have to do a better job on protecting and educating our people, though. Putting up safeguards that would prevent them from getting access or being confronted by these kind of peoples in this element. We can clean up our streets. If you want to find out more about how to do that, contact the UPK school near you. We happen to be at 4221 West North Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53208. Phone number 29414-293-8309. I think if I remember that correctly. Let's see if I did. Nope. 3869, my fault. 414-293-3869. Contact the school near you and let's discuss these problems so we can come up with an effective solution to it. There's a way that we can get this done. The solution is here in the Bible. I know it sounds crazy. We can talk about it though. Keep reading.
Con. Verse 19. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death.
We ain't gonna suffer bestiality either. Though if you a weirdo doing donkey shows and making out with your dog, you're dead. You're dead. You can't leave your dog in a jar of peanut butter with some of these people, man. It's not good. It don't work. It's unsafe for that person, for that animal. We are not going to suffer bestiality. That is sick and twisted. That is against the natural use of a man and a woman. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that you got a word that's rumors are going to be spread about you and the sheep. Don't be that dude. That's weird. It's unsanitary. It's weird, man. Nobody wants to eat that sheep then either. The knowledge that comes with you doing it's sick. It's sick. It's twisted. Don't do it. Read. Don't do it. Go ahead. Stop it. If you're doing it, stop it. Don't do it. If you know somebody doing it, don't do it. Lose your life. That's sick. And I don't think there's any kind of counseling that's going to cure that of you. You're dead. Along with them witches, along with them murderers, along with them rapists. You're a dead man. Don't be weird. Keep reading.
Con. Verse 20. He that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed.
Now that doesn't even necessarily mean death, and that's not giving anybody a license to go kick their door in and chop them up, shoot them down, whatever. That's warning you, letting you know. Listen, if you're gonna try to put power behind another god, another idol, or well, I can't say another idol because the Most High isn't an idol. But now you're gonna make something into an idol, Osiris, even voodoo, things like that. You had some?
Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus. Yeah, the Greek mythology, the whole Greek pantheon. If you're gonna put power into that, in the sense of where you think where you think you owe your life to or your death to, what's responsible for you living and breathing, or for you prospering or suffering, like Zeus, Odin, again, Osiris, Horus, whatnot. If you're going to put energy and effort into that, you will be destroyed. Look at what Captain Tazariot did with the conscious community. Look what he did to Polite. Look what the Most High did to Polite and Dr. York and all them other sycophants. Look what he did to Gorilla Hebrew. Obviously, they ain't serving the Most High, and they are being destroyed, and we ain't lifting a finger to do it. But we are putting them on Front Street. They are being exposed for their behavior. I may have used sycophant in the wrong context. Somebody look that word up. I want to make sure I'm using that properly. It's sycophant. Just gonna look that up real quick. A sycophant, a person who acts obsequiously, that's a new one, towards someone important in order to gain advantage. I was using that word out of context, Salakia. But you see how these other people are being destroyed and the belief system that they're promoting in that time. Gorilla Hebrew teaching directly against the Bible, supposing to be an Israelite leader. People are looking up to him, putting putting power behind him, look what happened to that man. All his skeletons getting drug out, and all the skeletons of his cohorts. We'll look up that word too real quick. All right, so I could almost use this in that context. Yeah, I could have used it in the way that I put it. I should have given it a different target. His supporters are the sycophants. What's that cat? Ariala? I think that's the dude who's responsible for the first expose of Guerrilla Hebrew's exploits with his wife, Ariala. I thought there was another cat who was doing the same thing, but Ariala would have been a sycophant to Guerrilla Hebrew because of his popularity and his prestige in the public eye and on YouTube. Garnered, some of these men's support. So now, even after him being exposed for being a weirdo and a sodomite, even if it never physically happened to him, in spirit, he is sodomite. Those people that were supporting him, that still give him respect and love and adoration, those are sycophants. But we're seeing how all these people that are teaching these different philosophies and ideologies, how they are being destroyed. So all these people that are making sacrifices, putting effort into all these different idols, we're seeing how they're being destroyed. This is a word to the wise. Don't do it or else you will be destroyed. Follow the laws of God. Keep it right here and you'll be cool. And everything will be all right. We walk down this path. Listen, you might be entrusted with somebody's animal and something could happen. Now you owe them. That don't mean you broke God's laws. Just some shit happened. And now we have to make restitution to one another for that loss. That doesn't mean you sinned. That doesn't mean you went against the word. Just some shit happened. And now we're settling a domestic dispute, a small claims court's claim. That's all we're doing. But now if you're sacrificing idols to a different God, a vain power here, you will be destroyed. You're going to see how all that energy you put into this gets turned on you. And we're watching it happen live with many people. You can see with celebrities, entertainments, sport figures, musicians. We can see how a lot of these people are being destroyed. Because and the prominence that they got, that don't mean shit. The money that they got don't mean a damn thing. All their lawyers, all their yes men, all their hype men, all the security cards that they got don't mean nothing. The Lord wants you dead, you're gonna die. He wants you to be destroyed, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna lose all your fame, all your wealth, all your cars, all your homes. Everything will be stripped from you. You'll be broken down into something very simple that you were praying wouldn't happen to you. This is your warning. The Lord is telling you. Right here is written down. Don't do it. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 21. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
So now we'd have to look at the context of these words. Let's just keep a broad overview of it and say, let's just say, even if it is more specific, let's just say that this is, for anybody. Since everybody, wants us to hold hands and kumbaya, let's just say this is a law for everybody. Because we are, to the best of our abilities, we are to be at peace with all men. So now you got some strange people you don't know walking into your city. You're, I don't know, on your block, or you just see them in public. You ain't never seen them before. They look weird to you. They look unfamiliar to you. Don't cause no shit. Don't start no shit with them. Don't give them no problems just because you don't know who they are. You're unfamiliar with them. This is, how would I say it? We can be we are a warrior people. We're a peaceable people, but we are also fighters, and we're also men. So with that masculinity, there comes there's always that threat of violence on the horizon. So you're always getting ready for it. Don't be that guy that's going to be a bully, though. It's all right to be masculine. People in the world are going to call it toxic masculinity. Ain't no such thing. You just don't like it. You're going to love that toxic masculinity when we prevent somebody from trying to kick your door in. You're going to love it then. I don't want to hear shit about it after that point. But ain't no such thing as toxic masculinity. Don't be a bully. Don't go start shit with people for no reason. Even if I see, somebody walking around wearing the purple pajamas with some tassels on it, I'm not going to go kick up dust with them. Like you gotta come to that door with bad intentions to get our attention. Otherwise, we're gonna let you be. Walk down the street, man. Go to the store. Shalom, Mark. No sweat. Even if you a heathen, hello. Might even hold the door for you. We ain't gonna start nothing if there ain't nothing. If there's no war, if there's no threat to our safety or our family, keep it cool. Even if you don't like the person. Maybe there's just something about him you don't like. I don't like the color purple no more because of them niggas. But if I see your brother wearing a purple shirt, I ain't going to kick it off with him just because he's wearing purple. I don't know. Just keep it cool until it needs to get taken to that point. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 22. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child.
And that's something that we see all too often in our communities. These women, these children that are unprotected, that don't have the shelter or the guidance of a man in their life, being taken advantage of, being treated poorly. That golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's like, I don't want to call it the golden rule like that, but just the common kind of familiarization with that term. These people, they need our protection. That widow suffering, having to live this life by herself now, raise some kids by herself, and those kids now they might be lost, struggling, lashing out a little bit because they just lost their father. We have how many fatherless children in the city? And not because of a widowed mother, because of a dragon in that house that pushed the man away, kicked the man out, got the man locked up. Or, that brother did something foolish that we read earlier before and, got sold into servitude and slavery. Leaving them children unprotected, something that we just talked about. They need a little bit of compassion. They need brotherhood. They're acting out because they ain't got nobody raising them up. They don't know how to act. They don't know what etiquette is. They don't know how to conduct themselves in public. So they're acting crazy. Now, it's one thing to be stern with them. Let them know that what they're doing is wrong. It's dangerous. Could get you killed out here. That's not how we're supposed to act. We're better than that. Raise your child up in the way they're supposed to go, and they won't turn away from it. It's like I'm paraphrasing. But if that child ain't got a father, that woman ain't got a husband, in the community, as a people, we're to look out for each other. Show some compassion. Be a support system for them. Be an asset to them instead of a liability. Let them know that they're safe here. Part of the reason why we're so stressed out as a people is because we ain't got that security. We feel unsafe. Our protection was taken from us, or it's just absent. So we feel unsafe. We're unguarded, so we're always on offense. We're always on edge. Help show them that, listen, you ain't got to be, you don't have to be, turned up on 10 all the time. Not to say you got to let all your guards down, but you ain't got to be as tense and stressed out as you are. You ain't got to come here with that attitude. Ain't nobody here going to try to hurt you. You can walk down the block safe. We're here to protect you too. That's the atmosphere that we can build in our communities. We just don't, because we're not living by this standard. We're not holding each other to this standard. We're holding each other to American family values, which, as we can see, has gone to shit. That was the end of those in English, going back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 22, verse 23. Wachara, apaya. Waharagathia, athakam, bacharab, wahaywa, nasayakam, alamanawath, wabanyakam, yathamiyam. Verse 24, ama, kasa, talawa, I'm ya, salaki, ha'anya, imaka, la'a, tahaya, lawa, kanasha, la'a, tashayamuwan, al-yawa, nasaka. Verse 25, ama, kabal, thakabal, Shalamath, Ra'aika, Aid, Ba'a, Ashama, Slaki. Yeah, Ashamash, Slaki. Hashamash. The Shayabanwa, Lawa, verse 26. Kaya, La'irawa, Bama, Yashaka, Wahaya, Kaya, Yatazaikwa, Alya, Washama'aitha, Slaki. Washama'aitha, Salaki. Washama'aithia, Kaya, Kanawan, Anya, verse 27, Alahayim, La'a, Takwawo, Wanashiya, Ba'imaka, La'a, Ta'a, it's like it, Ta'a, verse 28, Mala, it's like it, Malathak, Wada Aimaka, La'a, Ta'aha, Bakawo, Banyaka, Tatan, Laya, verse 29, Kaya, Taisha, Tasharak, Latazana, Shabai, Yamayam, Yahya, Ain, Amawa, Bayawam, Hashamayanya, Tathanawa, Laya. 29. That's the end of those in the Hebrew. Back into the English. Exodus chapter 22, verse 23 through 29.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 23. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
This is the Most High letting you know, if you afflict these people, you vex these widows, these fatherless children, the Most High is going to hear that cry. Keep going.
Verse 24. In my wrath.
And his what?
In my wrath.
And his what?
In my wrath.
Go ahead.
Shall wax hot.
Don't you touch them kids, man. Do not afflict that woman. You will incur the Most High's wrath. Keep going.
And I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
You're gonna put your family through the same thing that these other families going through, because you wanted to be oppressive to them. You wanted to vex them. You wanted to cause harm to them. We got to show these kids and these women a better way. That whole concept of, it takes a village to raise a child. That's in a similar sense what we're getting at here. These kids don't need any more stress. Their fathers are gone, died in jail, in slavery, because they made poor decisions, on drugs, because they got subdued by a witch. Maybe they got put to death because they was messing with an animal, because they was high on PCP because of that witch, which is why we cannot suffer these drug dealers to live, cause our people to act out of sorts, taking our men and our women, our children from us, that would otherwise be living a productive and that would be contributing to society instead of being a liability or a negative. These people that would otherwise be living a normal life with their families intact. But now she's a widow. Now these children are fatherless. And you vex them, you oppress them, you cause them harm. The Most High is going to hear their cries, and you will be put to death in a violent manner. That's what by the sword is going to be, in a violent manner. And now your wife, or your wives, and your children are going to suffer the same fate because of your actions. Your children, your wives are going to be essentially going to get punished, going to be left unprotected because of what you did to somebody else who is left unprotected. Do not touch them. Mind yourself around these women and kids. Half of them are acting this way because, again, their cover is gone. Their protection is gone. That person who would have been guiding them, raising them up in a responsible and respectable manner is gone. So now we are expected to take that place. At the very least, listen, if you're not going to be that beacon of light and hope for these people that are otherwise cast out in darkness and looking for their way back home, if you're not going to help them back home, you better stay the hell away from them. Don't be a burden to them. Don't be a stumbling block to them. Leave them the hell alone. If you're not going to help them, leave them alone. We'll help them. We'll step in where you're not. Together, we can make this a better place for our children and for our sisters, for our brothers. But if you're not going to be a net positive to that, if you're not going to contribute to that cause, stay the hell out of our way. Just be a bum somewhere else. We'll take care of it. Stay out of our way. But don't you touch them kids. Don't you touch them women. Stay out of their lives. God will destroy you for it in a violent manner. With the sword, you will incur his wrath. You better mind yourself out here. Keep reading.
Oh, come. Verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer. Neither shalt thou lay upon him usury.
There you go. So this is the law about we don't tax each other. If I loan my people money, $5,000, they only got to pay back $5,000. Not $5,001, not $5,010, not $6,000 over a fixed period of time. $5,000. Now I don't know if we're going to get into it here, but there's the year of Jubilee. So, and it goes in different stages too. But for example, if you owe me a debt and it's been 6 years, I believe in the 7th year, that debt gets excused, no matter what the balance is of it. So even if you still owe $5,000, listen, it's kind of shitty of you to not pay it back, but with that law in place, you are excused from that debt. Don't be that guy, though. If you have the means to pay somebody back that you owe a debt to, it's like you're paying back. That's an honorable thing to do. Don't stain your reputation because you wanted to be selfish and not pay that person back that you owe a debt to. Pay the debt back. Again, that helps build the nation. That helps build our economy. That helps build our security. Securing the way that we act amongst each other, the way that we conduct ourselves. We can be at peace with each other. We ain't got to be all tense. Now I see you walking across the street, man. It's like, listen, I ain't gonna loan you no more money. Yeah, it's 7 years, debt's forgiven. I ain't gonna lord that over your head, but I ain't gonna loan you no more money neither. Because I know you're just gonna wait until that 7th year and not pay me back. Go play the hustle with somebody else. But now word is spread about you. Chances are, that other person ain't gonna loan you that money neither. You know what I'm saying? Make good on your debts. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that sun goeth down.
I got to get clarification on this. I think that kind of goes back to kind of something similar to above, where if you borrow something from your neighbor, making sure that you return it in a timely manner and in the same condition too. So like that's kind of an adage on there, but at least bringing it back in a timely manner. Keep going.
Verse 27. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I will hear, for I am gracious.
Yeah, don't be the reason why another Israelite is crying out. I lent them my covers, my blankets, my sleeping bags. They didn't bring them back. What am I going to sleep in tonight? And then now they crying out to the Most High. You're gonna be, probably the target of whatever the Most High is gonna, expect as payment to retribution, or even in that case, he might just give back abundantly to that person who was so kind as to give you warmth and covering and shelter that you didn't, bring back in a timely manner. He just might give them something more and more and more and more and more and more because they had enough brotherhood to provide you with something that you were missing. So a couple different ways that I can go. But as an Israelite, period, across the board, don't be a reason that somebody else is crying out because they don't have means of survival or taking care of their household, their family, because they gave it to you for yours. Make sure you're paying your debts back. Make sure that if you borrow something, you bring it back in a timely manner. Like, because this could also be applied to like a vehicle. If you're borrowing somebody's vehicle, they might have something else to do throughout the day. Make sure you bring that vehicle back so that they don't miss their appointments. They don't miss something else that they got set up. Maybe they had to move, and now you got the only mode of transportation, and now they got to pay $100 for a U-Haul when they would have had a truck right here. And they can't do it now because you got it. You're being selfish or you're being careless with the time. Pay attention to what you're doing. Keep going.
Come. Verse 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
Now, this is an interesting point that a lot of people are going to overlook because in the Hebrew, if we look at verse 28 here, I'm not reading it in the right spot. 22. Yeah, 22. This is talking about the judges.
Or is this one end at 25? Verse 25.
That's 23. Chapter 23. That's in that verse 25. But it doesn't. I don't know what you're seeing. Yeah, it keeps going. Looks.
Oh, those years.
Yeah, it go. Keeps going. They just cutting that off right there. I don't know why, but that's just what they're doing. It's like it. If so, in the English, you're seeing gods. Let me pull this up real quick. You can open up the Blue Letter Bible again real quick. It's like we're gonna hurry up through this in a second. We are over the time, even though we started a little bit late. Exodus 22, verse 28. In the right spot. Oh, that's right, because it's one off. Yeah, because it was one off. So here in this Tanakh, it's going to be verse 27 that we're reading about in the English, verse 28. It's going to say gods in English, and the Hebrew is going to say Elohim. And this is talking about the judges. If you look at the definition, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Anytime it's referring to the Most High, you're going to see Lord in all capitals. So now if you look at the definition of what's being used there for gods, and again in the Hebrew it's going to read Elohim. You look at use the wrong. There we go. H430. You can see the reference. This is talking about judges. And so if you look at the definitions of it, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, godlike goddesses, worship or special possessions of God, could be in reference to the Most High. But in this case, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. So the authority figures of the nation of Israel, the judges, like in a council that preside over, some of these civil domestic disputes that we've been going over. When you bring them forth to the judges, because I think one thing that I wanted to point out, compare this to, if I go to, let's see if this is what I was looking for. Salakia, bear with me 1 second there. All right, so the same thing if we were to read in the Hebrew in verse 8. In the English, it should be verse 9. In the Hebrew, it's going to be in verse 8. It's going to use that same word, Elohim. In English, you're going to see judges there. And it's like I should rephrase what I'm saying from verse 28. The gods being the power, so that could be the judges, that could just be the authoritative figures that we're appealing to, that kind of hold office in the nation. So they're using the same word Elohim in verse 9, in verse 8 or 9 here, just depending on how we're transferring it. They're using that same word Elohim, and in English, you're going to see judges there. In verse 28 here, you're going to see it as gods. That gods is meaning powers, authority figures. So don't revile the authority figures that are in the nation of Israel. And we're talking about people here, especially in these contexts, in this society that are, let me show, I don't lose myself, that are, handling our disputes according to the law. So now you might not like their judgment or their ruling on the matter. You're gonna have to live with that though. And reviling, it's not just a feeling. I think there's a little bit more to it. So just look at the definition of revile. So in the context of what we're talking about here, so just a quick AI overview signifies somebody who's verbally abusing or attacking someone with anger or hatred, using words to humiliate, control, or destroy. So it's not just disliking them. It's you could be slandering them. You could be just cussing them the hell out. You could be threatening them verbally. You could be trying to call out damnation. May God destroy you. Because you made me pay double to this dude when I don't think I should have had to pay it all. Thou shalt not revile the gods nor curse the ruler of thy people. So the Most High had set people up in place to govern Israel. You're going to have to appeal to that authority, whether you like it or not. Now, if we got wicked men that are in charge, like that's also going to be dealt with too. There's going to be, I don't think it's going to be here in this chapter where we're reading it, but there's a way that we approach that also. But don't be a reviler of the authority figures of Israel. You can hate Commander General Yohana all you want. Keep your mouth shut. I don't care how you feel about him. Shut up. And you're going to have to deal with his judgment. Until Christ comes back, that is the only man who's been proven fitted to lead the nation of Israel. And the men that come up under him that also are in seats of authority when it comes to counseling, judging matters, calling the shots, giving orders. Keep your mouth shut. You got a problem with it, you can bring it to him and him alone. You can bring it to the council if you don't like it. But don't sit there, this nigga this nigga that. Fat dude this, fat boy that. Try him in real life. Ain't a sin to be overweight. Some of these men, their bodies are built for it. Shut up. Pay your tithes. Salute the brothers at the Passover and the sisters. You might have an art with somebody. Shut up. Just because they may have won in these small claim court matters, or you got an art with them for whatever reason, whatever petty, stupid reason that you can't get over. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Don't be a reviler. You can dislike it all you want in silence. Shut up. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer thy liquors.
29. Okay.
I missed the line.
All right. Yeah, that's what it's at.
The first, thou shalt not.
Start from the top.
Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of the ripe fruit, and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me.
Now, this is something that people try to use to say, see, God has human sacrifices. You're giving your firstborn sons to him. We're dedicating the servitude of our family, the loyalty of our house, dedicating our family, our service to the Most High. So we have a firstborn child, especially our firstborn sons, because of the inheritance. So if you're the head of a house and you've got your firstborn son, you're more or less giving your vow, your oath, that you're going to raise that child up in the same tradition, in the same culture that they're going to keep instead after you. So you're not giving them up like you know what we're not doing. We're not giving our kids up like they do the altar boys. What happens in them churches? God damn Christianity, God damn America for their perversion of the word. We're dedicating our firstborns in servitude to the Most High. Just the black and white of it. The same way that we would offer our first fruits for the betterment of the nation, where we're giving the best of our best to the flourishing of the nation of Israel, in dedication, in thanks and gratitude to the Most High, the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the structure. That's what we're dedicating our first fruits, our liquors, our firstborn sons. We're dedicating to the Most High, to the servitude of the Lord, and to the betterment of the nation of Israel. That's those in English. Going back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 22. Verse 30. All right, did I skip 30? I think I was supposed to stop at 28 there. I may have overlapped a little bit. So I think we're just going to read from 30 and then to 5. Yep.
They start at 23.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. What do we got here? 30 and 31. Okay, again, because this is kind of off a little bit. All right. So here we got 31 in English, but here we're ending at 30 in the Hebrew. So, all right. So Salakia, my count is a little adjusted with this, but so in the Hebrew, we're going to read the verse 5. In the English, we're going to read the verse 5, and then we'll still have the last 7. Okay. All right. So verse 30, Exodus chapter 22, verse 30. Wa'anashia, Kodash, Tahayawan, Laya, Wabashar, Bashara, Tarapa, La'a, Ta'akarwa, La Kalab, Tashalakawan. Exodus chapter 23, verse 1. La'a, Tasha'a, Shemai, Shawa'a, Al, Tashath, Yaraka, Ain, Rashai, Lahaya, Aid, Thamas. Verse 2. La'a, Tahaya, Achari, Rabiam, Lara'ai, Lara'itha, Wala'a, Tha'ina, I'll, Rab, Lanatath, Acharia, Rabayam, Lahata, verse 3. Wadal, La'ah, Thahadar, Barabia, Slaki, Barayabwa, verse 4. Kaya, Thapagai, Shawar, Ayabaka, Awa, Hamarwa, Tha'aiha, verse 5. It's like Hashab, Tashayabanwa, Lawa, verse 5. Kaya, Tara'a, Chamawa, Shanaka, Rabatazah, Thakath, Shama'awa, Wakadalah, Maizab, Lawa, Izab, Tha'izab, Imwa. There's those 7 in the Hebrew back into the English. So Exodus chapter 22, 30 and 31, and then Exodus 23, 1 through 5.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22.
Shout out to cold coffee with no creamer.
Exodus chapter 22, verse 30. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep 7 days. It shall be with his dam. With his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it to me. Give it me.
So this is going to be in a sacrificial capacity. And people, again, are going to try to trace it back to the kids. See, where we're setting this oxen and this sheep, there's a process that it goes through before you sacrifice it. So now, similar with our sons, on the 8th day, we circumcise physically in the flesh, the foreskin of the rock. That's that physical token that, again, separates us from the other nations. But we're not sacrificing our child. We're not sacrificing their life in the same sense that we would sacrifice these oxen and the sheep. We end up eating these. We're not eating our kids. We're dedicating them to the Most High. Keep going.
Verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me.
Again, holy meaning separate, special, peculiar. Go ahead.
Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field.
Now that's different than the flesh that got bored through. I can't remember how it said it. Gored by an ox. So if another ox gets gored by another ox, that's not the same as it being torn of the beasts of the field. You know, if a wolf or a bear or a mountain lion or something like that catch a sheep or something like that, or rip it to shreds, that's not going to be clean for you to eat. But if it died, like, you know, 2 rams get into it, you get headbutted to death, that's different. You can still eat that sheep or that goat that died from that man. But not if it gets, you know, attacked by a predatory animal, gets ripped up in the field, you're going to cast that to the dogs. That can be food for them. Or I think this might even be suitable food to give to a stranger. Might be. Don't quote me on that. Because, you know, if you find an animal that died of itself and you don't know what the cause was, you can get that to a stranger. You can sell that to a stranger, which would be a heathen, not another Israelite. Because as an Israelite, if you're not allowed to eat it, you can't give it to another Israelite to eat. So that stranger in that capacity is going to be a heathen. They don't have the same dietary laws as we do. You can give it to them. You can sell it to them, make a profit off it. But in this case, if that animal is torn of the beast of the field, you cast it to the dogs. It's just garbage. I don't think that would be suitable for any human consumption now. So you just chalk that one up to your dogs, to your beasts. Keep going.
Come. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. Verse 23. Chapter 23. Thou shalt not.
Verse what?
Chapter 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be unrighteous witness.
All right, so this is the concept of a liar bearing false witness. If you're not sure about a matter, keep your mouth shut. People are going to say, share their opinion on some of the matters that we touch on in classes, on Cross the Line, on America on Fire, on Let a Hebrew Speak, on Boot Up or Shut Up, on all the different platforms that we orchestrate. Not knowing maybe the spirit in which we're conducting this. So they're going to say, see, you're bearing false witness. I don't care how you try to spin it. Gorilla Hebrew is sodomite for what he was fantasizing about getting done to him. Bro's a sodomite for that. I don't care if he had physically had it done or not. He claiming it never happened physically, that he never crossed that line. Well, we're seeing some other evidences of some other weird shit going on in that man's life that you should have kept private, boy. I don't know why. First of all, why the hell you were doing what you were doing, let alone given a track record. You got it documented. All your text messages are documented. If somebody wanted to hack your phone, boom, it's right there. You had these people serve you up on a silver platter because you're being destroyed by God. These are just the mechanisms being used to expose you and to punish you. So when you hear Captain Tazariak and Gentleman Hyman run this brother through the fucking weeds, through the thorns and the thistles and through fire because of his behavior, and we're saying some pretty crazy shit, understand why it's being said about it. It's not, we ain't spreading no bearing no false witnesses, we ain't slandering nothing. You got to understand what's being talked about here. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Thou shalt not put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. And that's not a physical hand necessarily. That's just saying don't get involved. If you don't know what's going on in some of these matters that people would be asking you testimony of, don't say nothing. Don't give your opinion. Don't put your 2 cents in. Keep your mouth shut. Keep it to yourself. Say anything that you want to say in your head. Don't even speak. Don't even talk to yourself out loud. Speak it into the ether of your mind. Keep it to yourself. Don't throw your hand in with wicked people when you are being called as a witness. If you don't know nothing, just don't say nothing. Say that you don't know it. Do not raise a false report. You don't know what the school UPK does because you're not in the UPK. And if you're a brother out there feeling somehow slighted by the UPK's judgment against you for whatever reason, don't go on Facebook. Don't go live spilling your heart out to the world because you feel somehow slighted or robbed of your fame or glory or riches that you think somebody owe you. Keep your mouth shut. Shut up. You're a soldier. Do what you're told. Shut up. Don't go out here raising false reports. You're emotional. You're emotional. You're acting out of sorts. You're letting a chemical imbalance let words fly out of your mouth. Something compelled you to press live, and then words started spilling out of your face because you're under emotional distress. Don't raise a false report. Keep your mouth shut. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell your baby mama. Don't tell your kids. Don't tell your buddy that's in the world. Don't tell another brother, sister that's in the truth either. Trying to pit them against the judges and rulers. Don't be a reviler. Shut up. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Yeah, don't just be a follower either. You're going to see this crowd walking in this direction, about to commit a sin against the Most High. And because you see that multitude, maybe in your head, that makes you think that they're right for what they're doing. Because you're seeing celebrities doing it. You're seeing famous people doing it. You're seeing Gorilla Hebrew ordering a pagan kit. So now you feel you got to order a pagan kit too. Don't do it. Do not follow the multitude to do evil. Just because you see everybody else jumping off a bridge, are you going to do it too? That old adage. Don't do it. Keep reading.
Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Yeah, don't try to count yourself as an authoritative figure on something. Especially just if you see the majority of people speaking in a matter, because it doesn't have to mean like physically follow them, like, marching down the street either. If you see them marching down the street, if you see 1 million people jump on a live stream or going live themselves on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever the hell it is, don't be one of those either. Don't follow that multitude doing the same evil. And you're going to try to sit there and cast your lot. Your words of wisdom are not required here or needed. Shut up. Don't be a reviler of the gods or the rulers of the nation. Don't raise a false report. Don't follow the multitude to do evil. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your judgments to yourself. You don't know better. No matter how many times you've convinced yourself in the mirror of it. No matter how many times you've rehearsed it and it sounds really good. It sounds so convincing. Keep it to yourself. Hold that little podcast and that little live stream in your head. And before you do something stupid with your life, go get counsel on the matter. Go take it to those judges, those revilers, or those judges, those rulers that you would have reviled. Go take the matter to them. Understand maybe why something is happening. Don't cast your judgment into it. You don't need your 2 cents. You got there's this one dude. He's following Judaism. He's got this stupid little box on his forehead. He's got some like BDSM arm wraps going on, trying to say that a brother in his glorious and warlike apparel is something suspect. This dude looking all types of stupid. He got the white man caressing his face. I don't know if they exchanging beard oils or something like that, swapping scents, but it looks weird. And he doing this in public, and he got the gall to call one of our brothers who's done great work, tremendous work, a very masculine brother, trying to call him out of his character. You're not a judge here. You're not an authority figure. You're not a ruler. You're a peon following Judaism. That's just one example. You're a break-off of a break-off of a break-off who's starting your own book club that's just going to end up in a break-off of a break-off of a break-off. And all the people that you thought were your brothers that followed you into that fire, that followed that multitude to do evil, they're just going to break off from you too. And everybody's going to count themselves as some kind of authority figure. You're not. You're not. Shut up. Shut up and give me your money. Shut up and pay your tithes. Contact the school near you. You got something to say about something? Listen, get the counsel on it. Take it to him and him alone if you got an art. Now that also does not mean Captain Tazar, General Hyman, they do not owe Gorilla Hebrew a private sit down because he did not make a personal offense to any individual. He offended the Most High. He offended the reputation of the nation of Israel. In public, like all this stuff got exposed. As the leader of an organization, he committed these atrocities. Now he's being exposed, and now he's being judged. He's being destroyed by the Most High. And Captain Zaria, we ain't letting no pressure off that man. until he has repented. Now, he went on live stream trying to say that I repented for this years ago. Trying to laugh it off. Like he already did his due diligence. You were the leader of your organization when you did that. You should have been stepped down from that point. It took you getting exposed for you to step down. And then you still held judgment over the structure of that organization after you supposedly had stepped down. You should have left it to those men that you supposedly left in charge. Nobody should have even trusted who you left in charge. I would not trust your judgment if you said this man is going to be in charge now after me. I would take that straight to the council. Like, no, Gorilla said this boy is supposed to be in charge and lead us. Why didn't he pick him? It should raise those kind of questions in your head. In the UPK, under Commanding General Yada, we have rank and order. Under the Most High in Christ, we've got our rank and order. If God forbid something were to happen to this man, we got another man ready to take his place. That's his position. That's how this establishment is set up. Not whoever he picks to represent next that he just likes more or think might do a better job. This is the rank structure. Something happens to this brother here, this brother's next in line to take the reins. Not because he's getting a promotion or a rank raise, because now the burden is on his shoulders, and that's the next brother who put in the work, who's going to be trustworthy enough to hold it together after this. That's how that goes. Shut up. Follow the orders. Get in all black. Get into that school near you and find out how to secure the nation of Israel under the Most High in Christ appropriately. Go through the gauntlet. Go through Hebrew Academy. Go through the counseling. Go through the tutelage that it takes to keep the stability of our people, especially in these times. World War III coming right around the corner. And you dumbasses are getting exposed for all types of wickedness. Don't follow them people, man. Keep your mouth shut. Don't give false reports. Don't throw your hand in with them. You're not a judge. Your opinion don't matter. Shut up. Read.
Okay. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause.
Again, you got a brother he's already destroyed. He's already poor, beat down, in shambles. You don't need to stress that man out any more than he already is. You ain't got to remind him that he's poor and he's broken. He knows that. It's our job to rebuild him. He's got to take the proper steps too, though. So now you might try to say this again about Glorilla Shebrew. You might try to say this again about him. Leave the man alone. He's already this and that. He ain't destroyed enough because he's still out there making lives. He's still out there trying to be an internet figure. He needs to shut up. He needs to get in class. He needs to get in all black. He needs to get into counseling from brothers that will deal with him accordingly and appropriately with the tough love that he needs, that he deserves. Get in the class. And then he won't be, ain't nobody gonna talk about him again then from the UPK. That brother, if Gorilla Hebrew, if y'all wants to shut up about him, if that man gets into all black, joins the troopership of the UPK, ain't nobody gonna talk about him again after that. We're gonna help rebuild that man from the ground up. That's what he needs. He doesn't need you coddling him. He doesn't need you trying to wipe the tears away from his tired eyes. He needs to be broken down and rebuilt by the only men, the only organization that is fit to do such a task. Then we'll leave that man alone. Then we'll support that brother in his rehabilitation. and will fortify him the way that he was not given in the house of David and in GMS. That he didn't find in Sakara. That he's not going to get from the house of bread or Genesis. He can find that in the UPK. Like it or not. That's the truth. Read.
Come. Verse 4. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
So now if you see one, you see your brother going wrong, going awry, bring them back home, guide them back home. The doors are open. We're doing a live Sabbath service. Tomorrow, Sunday, there might be a podcast or something like that going on. But the phone lines are still open 24/7. Just because class is going to end today doesn't mean that we're switching the phone off. Still call. We'll still be on guard. And that's another mechanism that we would use in our communities too. If I see your sons doing something unlawful, we're going to help correct that too. That doesn't mean we're going to go out there and beat the shit out of them because they're doing something they ain't supposed to do. But we're going to let them know, listen, your father doesn't play around like that. Bringing shame to your house. You better correct yourself. Put that down. Stay away from them kids. Go back home. Listen to your parents. We're going to help restore the order of the nation when we see one of our own going astray. Or even in a more literal sense of how we might read it here, if I see your dog run away from your house, if I see your ox, your cattle, your sheep loose from your pen, I know that they're yours. I'm gonna direct them back home safely. I'm not gonna expect anything. It might behoove you to show a little gratitude and maybe give me a sheep, for that we might have a banquet too, because I brought them all back to you safely. But I'm also not gonna just expect that of you. These are yours. You're my brother. You're my people. You worked hard for this. I'm gonna help make sure that you get them back, because that's your livelihood as well, and that's brotherhood. That's civility amongst us. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 5. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him.
So even if it's somebody you don't like, and you see a piece of their property astray from home, you bite your tongue and help restore it. Help lead it back home. It's their rightful property. It's their rightful belongings. Make sure it gets back there safely, whether you like that person or not. Whether we like each other or not has no bearing on our civility and how we conduct our commerce, not just business dealings, but how we conduct respect and honor and dignity amongst each other. We ain't got to like each other, but we're not going to prey on each other's downfalls. We're not going to hope that I know those are his sheep. I'm gonna let them all just wander off, let them get eaten up, and he's gonna take a $10,000 loss. If I see that those are his sheep, I might not like the brother, but that's still a brother. Let's make sure that these get them back. So we're gonna drop what we're doing, and maybe it's a day's ride away. All right, we're gonna round these up. We're gonna keep them safe. We're gonna start making our way back to you, or we'll contact you. Nowadays, we got the advantage of technology. So now maybe I can just call you instead, let you know, listen, I got your sheep. They got out. You've probably been wondering what direction they went then. All right, they came over to this side. I got them right here. They'll be waiting for you right there. You can come pick them up in the morning. They'll be safe. We fed them. We watered them. They're good. We're gonna keep a couple men on post so that no wolves attack them at night, and you're safe and you're secure. That was built camaraderie amongst us, whether we like each other or not. At least we can trust each other. And when push comes to shove, we know that we are going to be there for each other. Yeah, you ain't got to like each other, but you better uphold the law with each other. That's what you better do. That's the truth too. That was the end of verse 5. It's in English. All right, back into the Hebrew. Last set of verses. Salakia to the better above me for dragging this out. But I think there were some very important issues that needed discussion. La Yashala. All right, back to the Hebrew, Exodus chapter 23, verse 6. Good?
You mind if I read the last verse?
I wish you would have said something earlier. But yeah, good. You want to read all last 7?
No, the last verse.
Oh, the last verse. Okay, I got you. Got you, no sweat. All right, Exodus chapter 23, verse 6. La'ah, the ta, mashapa, abianica, bariabwa, verse 7. Madabal, Sequal, Tharachat, Wanakwia, Watazarayat, Taharag, Kaya, La'ah, Atazarayat, Rashai, verse 8. Wasakhat, La'ah, Thakat, Kaya, Hashakat, Yahweh, Pekachayam, Wayasalat, Dabaria, Tazarayakwiyam, verse 9. Wagar, La'ah, Thalakatazah, Sakya, Thalakatazah, Wa'atham, Yada Itham, Napash, Hagar, Kaya, Garyam, Hayayatham, Ba'aratazah, Matazari. Verse 10. Washashah, Staniyam, Tazarai, Aratazak, Wasapath, the Bawatha, verse 11. Wahishabyaitha, Tashamatana, Wanatashata, Wakarwa, Abiyanya, Imaka, Wayatharam, Ta'akal, Khayaf, Hashara, Khan, Taisha, Wakamarak, Lazayathak. And all right, you got verse 12.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 12. Shashata. Yum.
Yum yum. Yep.
The Aisha.
Speak up.
The Aisha. Ma'ai Shayak. Wub ya wum.
Mm-hmm. No, you yeah. Now this next page up top.
Hush. Hushba Yaya.
Shabiyaya.
Hushabiyaya.
Shabiyaya.
Hushabiyaya. Hushabiyaya. The Shabbath.
Yep.
La mine.
Lamine.
La mine. Yun. 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 Yun no wach. Wach. Yun no. Yun. Yun wach.
Yep. Get it.
Yun wach.
Yeah, there you go. Smooth it out. Yana wach.
Yun wach. Show rock. Show. Show rock.
I believe these are going to be shawaraka.
Show rawaka.
And it's going to be similar with the next one.
Shawach Maraka.
There's no sh. Nothing.
I mean, why did I say sh? What? Wa waha 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 wah wah Maraka.
Smooth it out. Bring it all together. Smooth it out.
Wahamaka.
Wahamarka.
Wahamarka.
Speak up.
Wahamarka. Wayak.
It's not a cup.
Slap it. Wayan posh.
Yeah, you got it.
Wayan posh.
Wayana Posh. Yep.
Wayana posh. Bum bum bum
Um,
bun bun duck. Thuck. Thuck. Whoa. Wahagar.
I clap it up. Let's go for the brother. Last one classes every Friday across the nation. Respectively in their time zone, 7 p.m. So here, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna start continuing last one classes next week. Just coming back off the Passover, things getting back in order. And the new schools are still kind of getting set up with our last one setting. But we're gonna get this back refreshed soon. So join us in the Midwest in Milwaukee, 7 p.m. on Fridays. Again, all over the Midwest, 7 p.m. Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, Kansas City, all the schools around here. East Coast, West Coast, respective time zones, 7 p.m. Back into the English. Let's close this out. About to be a 4-hour Sabbath service. Select.
start at 6.
Yes.
I'm going to stop in at 12.
At 12.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 6.
23.
Oh, slide. Chapter 23, verse 6. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
And again, so don't that kind of goes hand in hand with the affliction. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. This kind of about giving them, a little bit of relief, and to not hold them to the same extreme, maybe measures of standards of conduct. Well, not so much conduct, because they're still expected to act accordingly, but their functional capacity. They might be burdened or lame, afflicted, at a disadvantage in life because of, maybe they were one of those fatherless kids too. Maybe they got a bum leg. Maybe they have a disorder, a different judgment from the Most High that caused them, to kind of fall in stature or financial straits. This just kind of for the judges, for the instructors, for the rulers, kind of take it easy on these guys. Just kind of circumstantially given the scenario, but don't rest the judgment of that poor in this cause. Just take it easy. Keep going.
Come.
Oh, slack it. I think this might even refer to verse 5. If thou see the ass of him that hated thee lying under his burden, and wouldst thou forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. They might have the same expectation or capacity to be able to help as somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of the expectations of certain people. Don't be too quick to be like, what the hell are you doing? You're just sitting on your ass. Do something about it. They might not have the ability, the capacity to do it, whether physically, financially, mentally. They just might not be there. You might have the resource that they don't have to help, restore that man's lost possessions. They just might not be able to. So don't burden them with that responsibility. It's like, you good?
Verse 7. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked.
Read that from the top.
Verse 7. Keep thee far from a false matter.
Don't get involved in shit that like conspiracy theories, for example. They're lacing the toilet paper with sodium benzoate citrate so that our kids come out with 3 eyes in 12 generations because you read a Twitter and somebody memed it on the Joe Rogan Experience. It's like for shouting out, somebody else complete podcast like that. But just for an example, there's some dumb shit that don't need our attention. You got people out there spreading misinformation about not just different topics, but even about each other. That either might not be true or just might be fueled out of jealousy and anger. Maybe they're reviling in that moment. They're reviling Commander General Yohannes, saying that they saw him in Jamaica the same week he was at Passover. The same days that he was at Passover, supposedly he was in Jamaica getting a ball fade. Something to that extent. Like people saying some stupid shit. It's like to the men above me for the language. But people were saying some stupid stuff that just don't make no sense. So some of it, not everything needs your attention. And not everything needs your participation and involvement. Keep thee far from a false matter. Ignore the bullshit. rise above it. Read again. Keep going.
And the innocent and righteous slay thou not.
You know, some of these people that similar in the New Testament, Yahweh says, how does he put it? You know, if you do it to the least of my people, you know, you got some brothers and sisters out there that just, they might not know any better. They in their sincerity, they were following one of these book clubs and they got led astray. Don't charge them with the penalty and the shame that the leaders need to be charged with. They're the ones that were following. They believed in these people. Their leaders knew that they were doing something evil. Maybe, and they fell victim to, verse 2, following a multitude to do evil. In their sincerity, they thought they were following the Most High. They just didn't know no better. They had a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So they fell victim to the whimsical, fantastical presentation of Sakari. You know, it's such a deep, badass name. And because of who Sakari were, you know, in the Bible, biblically, they were also lawbreakers. The Sakari never should have been a sect. Though those are men that took justice into their own hands, vigilantes, so to speak. They were breaking the law. So now you got an organization that named itself after the philosophy of lawbreakers. And you wonder why they're being scrutinized for breaking the law, from breaking up with each other, for having their exploits exposed. They based their whole structure off of lawbreakers. So it kind of makes sense that it would follow this way. Keep going. But yes, it's like it. So to the innocent people that were following, you know, these young minds, these young influential, easily seduced. You know, they're innocent in a sense. They just didn't know what to follow. You got so many breakoffs. It can be hard to sift through it all to see who's telling you the truth and who deserves your loyalty. Now everybody's going to say the Most High in Christ. Nobody's wrong for that. But who's actually following in the same steps as the Most High had prescribed to us, and in the same tutelage, the same standard that Yahweh had set for us? Who's actually keeping to that standard? You got people that, again, in their sincerity, have gravitated to certain organizations or individuals, thinking that that's the path that they should go down. Maybe because it agrees with something with them carnally. So they see these people, in purple, talking about you can only have one wife, even though the Bible does teach that polygamy is lawful. But you got this one group saying, no, you can only have one wife. And you got men and women that are more comfortable with that social acceptance, because monogamy was something that was adapted by Edomites, that was enforced by Edomites. Like even to the point of the law too. Like if you're married to a woman and like she can divorce you, take half your shit because you got a girl on the side. You know what I'm saying? They're enforcing monogamy. The Bible don't enforce monogamy, polygamy, any of that. It just enforces the marriage and condemns fornication and adultery. So again, those innocent ones, read that again, verse 7. And the innocent and righteous.
And the innocent and righteous slay thou not.
So again, don't take it out on the people that in their ignorance, in their sincerity, had followed the wrong teachers or the wrong path, the wrong teachings. We are to establish this hedge and this safeguard for them, that little sanctuary, that ensign for these people that don't know where to go, especially after they see all their leaders getting destroyed and crumbling and falling and crawling and pleading and crying. They don't know where to go. They didn't know what they were supposed to do. That's why they end up following them. Lead them back home. Do not slay them innocent and them young ones. Keep going.
For I will not justify the wicked.
Yeah, you're not going to be just all right. So all the people that were following Sakari and the House of Bread and now Genesis, the leaders are going to get punished and persecuted for their crimes, for their disobedience. The people that they were leading, that's who we need to bring back home. You're not going to be justified for punishing the people that were subdued and seduced by those leaders. The burden is on them, not on the people that they have lied to. We need to keep them safe. So that, again, all of Israel is supposed to come home. I don't give a shit about that 2/3 prophecy. We're trying to get all of Israel to come back. So we have to keep a safe. We got to protect them. We got to protect them. You're not going to be justified for casting them into the fire or the judgment that, again, their leaders are supposed to be facing. You're not going to be justified for casting it on them. So I can keep going.
Verse 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and the perverteth the words of righteous.
That's it. That's kind of similar. That goes hand in hand with the scriptures talking about gift destroy the heart. Well, it's kind of in a different context because it's saying a person maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyed the heart. That's kind of in a different aspect. Is this is more sort of like on bribery, taking favoritism in that sense. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. That's not a gift to UPK Milwaukee. That's not a gift to Command and General Yohana. That's providing the nation, the responsible parties, the responsible authoritative parties with the resources and provisions needed to take care of the people, to take care of the widows and the fatherless children, to build these safe spaces for the schools, for the functions, for the events. That's what the tithes go to: feeding, clothing, housing. It's like my list got in the way there. Don't take no bribes, man. Don't take no these people are gonna want to backstage passes, VIP advances, cars, clothes, fame. I don't know if Captain Tazariak gets paid for any of his interviews, which he rightfully should be for his contribution to the culture, but not in the sense of this is how like your modern day Sadducees and Pharisees in the churches are accepting. They're stealing the tithes first off, but they're from maybe celebrities and other famous people, other rich people. They're going to accept gifts from them. And that's gonna be contingent on them fueling an agenda or a perspective. The way that churches would push a political agenda, so they might get donations, contributions to their nonprofit organization, but the terms are going to be: listen, you got to push for the Democrats, you got to push for the Republicans, for this candidate party or this. So they're taking that gift and it's perverting. Where is that? Verse 8. It's perverting the words of the righteous. You in a position of influence and you taking bribes to push an agenda. It's perverting the words of the righteous. Because now you're going to read from this Bible talking about, see, God saved these people, so that means Donald Trump is next. It's going to try to give some vainglory to people who don't deserve it, who ain't qualified to receive the blessings of the Most High, who are guilty of the crimes that's defined in the Bible. Don't take them gifts. Give us all your money. Give us all your money. Pour it into this school so that we can do the job that we were tasked with. I'm not going to take anything for personal gain. But give me all your money. It's not going to be a gift to me. It's going to be to the benefit of the people. Give me all your money. You're not going to entice me with a Rolls Royce or a Rolex watch or some women or a million viewers. You're not going to trick us with that, with all those fanciful promises. You're not going to pervert the words here. You're not going to pervert the words of the Bible. Not on this platform. We're not going to be seduced by your gifts. But give me all your money. That's like when they try to put people to infiltrate the UPK. That either ended up getting turned into soldiers, brothers and sisters of the school, or they went back empty-handed. Because we're not drug dealers, we're not criminals, we're not extortionists, we're not money launderers, we're not all these other outrageous claims that they try to make about us. We're not that. You're not going to be able to corrupt us. We're not picking Democrats or Republicans. I don't give a shit if you're a rapper, if you're a celebrity, none of that matters. You're not going to seduce us that way. We'll take all your money, though. Give us all your money. Give us all your resources. We're going to use that to push the truth. You're not going to pervert the words of the righteous here. It happens to them, though. It happened to IUIC, happened to GMS, happened to Sakari, happened to House of David, ICGJC, GOCC, happened to all of them. It can't happen here. We can't allow it. Our track record is awesome. And I mean, I don't want y'all to find out the hard way, but you're seeing the people that are getting destroyed for their involvements, their actions, their activities. We're trying to save you from the bullshit. So let's come back on. Keep reading. Select.
Verse 9. Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
So we've been there, man. That's why it's so easy for us to relate to each other. And it's so important that we keep it in-house like that, because we're the only ones who know what we are going through as a people. Don't give that man no more grief. He's had a hard enough life as it is. Show him a little bit of relief, man. Let him know that he can walk safely through these streets, through this community. You can get some food over there. You can get some drink. You can get some camaraderie. You can get some support. Because we were walking into a land that, especially in that time of need when that famine hit us, we were reliant on the success of another nation, of a complete another nation. We didn't know that our brother was, had a major, he was a major authoritative figure in that land. But we know that feeling of being disadvantaged. And we know that we don't, listen, you already walked around, you lost your job, your wife is batshit crazy, your kids are loud as hell. You're trying to get a fresh start, you're trying to get a little bit of just a moment to breathe, a moment to relax. And you got this world around you that's trying to eat you alive. You know what that feels like. Don't be that same burden to another brother, another sister. Keep going.
Verse 10. In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shall gather in the fruits thereof. Verse 11.
So I can read that part again. Read that verse.
In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof.
So now this is going to be encompassed by the law of the Jubilee. Again, I can't remember exactly where we covered it specifically, but this is kind of giving you some of the outline of it. So for 6 years, you're going to sow of that land and gather the fruits and the harvest of that. Keep going.
Verse 11. But the 7th year, thou shalt let it rest and lie still.
Give the land some time to breathe. The fruits and vegetables that you're growing in a certain area, it's drawing up all those nutrients, all those minerals, all the vitamins, all the nutrients from that specific plot of soil and land. It's using it all up. In that 7th year, let it recoup. let new things die and degrade into the soil again, or biodegrade into the soil again, like compost. Compost is very good for the soil. It's a natural cycle of life. Things live, things die, and then they feed nutrients and vitamins and minerals back into the soil, back into the land. So for 6 years, you're using up all those nutrients. On that 7th year, and it's producing quality fruit, quality vegetables. You're getting a high yield from it because it's healthy. In that 7th year, let the land rest for that whole year. Let that land rest. Let it recoup. Throw the compost back on it. All the all the bad fruits, or the dead stuff, the leftovers, things that got wasted or damaged, what have you. Let it biodegrade back into the soil to replenish the land. Keep going. Keep track of where you are, man.
That the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat.
So now in that crop too, you're not going to be yielding anything else from that harvest. And the 7th year, let it go. Let it be consumed by the people that are hungry at their kind of own discretion. Let the animals graze upon it. Let the plants die. And again, that's going to replenish the soil. That's gonna be a benefit to the people, free of charge. Don't charge them to come in to eat for free when they're hungry. Let them eat. Let them get that rest. Get that little bit of breathing room. They're already stressed out. They don't know what the hell they're going to eat the next, the next night, the next week. On that 7th year, the fields are going to be open to the people. Now, again, these are laws that are governed for people who have land. I don't have land like that. I ain't got a farm. I can't keep these laws. But if I did have that land and I did have farm, on that 7th year, it's going to be open to the public. I'm not going to, we could eat off of it too, but I'm not going to be gathering everything, pushing everybody else off, gathering everything so I can take it to the market, so I can get that last little bit of a profit from these fruits and vegetables. We're going to eat off it. Everybody gets to come and eat off it. All the animals, if you want to bring your livestock through, they can help finish off. Some maybe they like the dead stuff. They can help eat that. But if maybe you're gonna have a banquet, listen, take all this. Take this whole harvest. Take as much as you need for this. And we can save some for the other people. Maybe they got a party going on, or maybe they just need food on their table. And let the rest of the stuff just die off. It'll decompose. It'll decompose right back into the soil. And then the next year, you can start another cycle. You can replant it again. But don't be selfish. Don't be so hung up on money and material gain that you take advantage of what God had gifted us. This is how we keep a healthy quality of life going, and a sustainable quality of life going too. Looking out for each other and taking care of the land, of the planet that we thrive off of. That this is different ways of contributing to that and keeping things healthy and in keep. So I can keep going.
In like manner, thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard.
Yeah, olive yard.
Olive yard.
Yeah, like manner thou shalt deal with the vineyard and with the olive yard. Yeah, so whatever you're growing, if you're growing, grapes for your wine press, or you got the olive orchard, maybe it's avocados. I don't know what the hell you're into, but in the 7th year, now those trees might survive. All the fruit, you just let that drop down, let that die off, let that get picked up and gathered and eaten. And the trees might, still renew itself, but you're giving it time to just relax. We're stressing the land out too much too. So even with our crops, even with our vineyards, it's the same concept. Keep going.
Come. Verse 12. 6 days. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the 7th day thou shalt rest. that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed.
So now this is the Sabbath. The law of the Sabbath for people that have employees. So that even concerns your animals. You've been at it for 6 days, solid. 8 to 12-hour shifts, maybe. I don't know. However hard y'all working. You're at it solid for 6 days. On that 7th day, man, let everybody get a break. That includes your slaves, that includes your servants, that includes the work animals on your farm or on your land. Give them a break. These are very simple laws to abide by. That gives us a better quality of life, a less stressed quality of life too. Leave it up to these devils, these other heathen nations. They will work you like crazy. And if we didn't have these provisions either, we'd probably do it to each other too. Because again, everybody's looking for the profit, looking for the the benefits, the riches, the gains from it. And we're not giving enough consideration to each other to give each other a break. Give each other a little bit time to breathe. Same thing with the land. Let the land refresh. Let these people, let these beasts refresh too after a long week of already slaving your ass off. With that, I'm in a visual, I'm marking. On Yakudam, turn to face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. Abanawu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Sabbath, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathanawu, Lakar, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Manaw, Habawat Naw, Hasalak Naw, Habawati Naw, Walaa, Nadia Naw, Wansawan, Abal, Habsha Naw, Mayam, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahal, Wahatapara, Lawalomyu, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Pray for the Hakak, the power in Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Babusha. Nathanda now. Hakak. Hakak. Larapa'ah. Kalmakalak. Wakal Marawak. Hakak. Natahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakak. Lahakuyu. Hamathu. Hakak. Arakawak. Hatama'ala. Lagarasha. Hashem Yahushua. Fuwan Aman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you so big. Pray the blessings well in Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Barak Lanawu, Wayah Wahabayah. The power by Shem Yahushua, the water Aman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us in Yahshua and the school. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you so big. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayani, Al-Hahari, Ma'ayan, Yara'ah, Azari, Azari, Ma'ani, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Waratazah, Al Yathan, Lamawa, Ragon, Al Yanawam, Shmark, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamal, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shmark, Yahweh, Kazol, Al Yat, Yamnika, Yavama, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayara, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamal, Makarai, Yashamal, Atnapash, Yahweh, Yashamal, Taza Wabba Ma'ita, Wa'ai, Awalom. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim, Al Damiyah, Al Dafarash, Wa Al Dashaqwa, Al Kayahana, Al Yadika, Yahama Yawan, Wa Mashanayaka, Sha'awa Ra'ash, Al Aimika, Ya'ariyam, Sawara, Wayatha Yaitazawa, Wayatha Yaitazawa, Al Tazapawanika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidan, Magawi, Waya, Slaki, Wala, Yazaka, Sam Yasa'al, Awara, Kaya, Nawa Tazawa, La, Yakhad, Alika, Maria, Yakarath, Ahalia, Arawam, Waya Shema Alayam, Mawa'ab, Wahagari, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Parashat, Amishabi, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawat, Aimam, Hayawat, Sarawat, Labani Lawat, Salat, Aisha Laham, Kamadi, Kasiyah Sara'at, Kayabi, Barathal, Koyashwan, Nastamari, Bayan the Arab, Hayawat, Daman, Ladam, Shaitam, Nadayab Mawat, Ka'ara, Wakiza'ab, Wakizabat, Wakizalmanai, Kona Saikam, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayushat, Lanawat, Na'awat, Alahayim, Alahayat, Shayatamwa, Kadogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Rakat, Ka'ats, Saba'ari, Wakalahaba, Salahat, Harayam, Kanthar Dapma, Basa'ari, Wabasa Wapathi, Sabalaham, Mala'at, Hanyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwash, Shamkat, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Adiai, Wayasaparwa, Wayababanwa, Wayadaiwa, Kayatha, Shamkat, Yahweh, Labadka, Al-Yawan, Ad, Ka, Harathazah. In English, keep not thy silence, O God, or not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha'ala may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and the Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. Doing to them as unto the Midianites, after Sisera, as the bid, as the Rookie Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became done for the earth. Make the nobles like a red, and like Zed, yea, all the princes at Sabbath, and at Salmon, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God and possession. All my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. Make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh, Yahweh. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High, over all the earth. Remember the power structure in Hebrew, Barak Ateh Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. Wa me'aka Allah, wa alahayim, matazab ya'ah alawak yahan, ha'alawakim, ha'saranyim, ha'patazayyatim, ha'chayayarim, wa ha'afakim, Yahweh, ha'ashim Yahweh, the Waraman. In English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahweh, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, the name Yahweh Shah. Thank you so big. Blessed be you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, the name Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into this sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, high school attachment, the gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channels, convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shah, Michael and Gabriel, come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. That it's the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake it thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you always. So big. So out to the front. Gonna salute the Torah. Sorry. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barak Yah.
Yahweh Shem Yah Shabrak Yah.
Got it. What's it?
Yahweh Shem Shabrak Yah.
All right, saluting our way out in the visual of Micah, Mighty Shabbat, and Micah, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yah Shabrak Thumb. Yah salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Madim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar, Atan, Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Yah Matah. That concludes Sabbath service. Shalom. Pay your tithes and shut up. Give me your money. Shut up. Get all black.